As we await truly who will be the edge opposite Aiden Hutchinson in the 2025 NFL season, I know a lot of you guys believe in the rookie Ahmad Hassanin, and I believe in him too, but I am willing to accept that he is a 6th-round pick who has to overperform if he's going to make any impact on the team. We don't expect much of 6th-round picks, but if there's anybody that can do it, I believe it can be him. So we got that out the way. But we need somebody that can contribute immediately at a high level if we are going to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. And this video is predominantly about Trey Hendrickson yet again, but we're going to go a different route today. And I've been saying this a while. Brad Holmes can make anything happen as far as what's in his control. The cap space, the cap is, we know that it's a number, but how real is it? Again, a few years ago, the Saints were $100 million over the cap. I'm not saying that I want that to happen, but what I'm saying is if the salary cap was a real thing, how could you be $100 million over the cap if it was a real thing? You do get penalized for being over. The longer you're over, you get penalized more and more and more. But if it was a real thing, how could you be over by $100 million? Not like $1 million or $10 million, but $100 million. They wind up getting it under, but so the Lions can make anything happen. Now, are things smart or good for the team? Those are different questions, but could the Detroit Lions do this 100%? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So, according to Adam Schefter, and this happened about an hour ago, the 49ers and Eagles are working to finalize a trade that will send edge rusher Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round pick. The trade cannot and would not be processed until after June 1st. Let me cut back to me real quick. Now, this is a lot of what's happening too with, from what I understand, with a potential Zadarius Smith reunion, which we'll talk about as well, because there's no doubt that the Lions are still eyeing somebody. They got to be. But it might be a thing that happens after June 1st. But both sides are working to make it happen, and Huff already has reworked his contract to help facilitate the trade. In San Francisco, Huff will be reunited with 49ers DC Robert Saleh, his former head coach with the Jets. Forgot all about that he plays, but check this out. Before the trade can get finalized next week, the Eagles restructured Bryce Huff's contract this week. He was set to make about $17 million and fully guaranteed this season from Philadelphia, but the Eagles now will take on only $9.5 million in salary, leaving the 49ers responsible for the remaining $7.95 million due to Huff this season. So you can already see where I'm going here. And the Bengals situation is getting more and more and more desperate. So if it gets too bad with Trey, and it's lining up to get that way, we're going to talk about it in a second, but it's lining up to get that way. If the Bengals will budge, which I think eventually they're going to have to. Somebody's going to have to budge here. You have, if you look at it, when I think it was Le'Veon Bell who held out an entire season, and then he was inevitably cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you have what happened with Hassan Reddick. He wound up missing almost half the season. Trey Hendrickson has said that he's willing to sit out. So what do you see here? The Eagles ate some money. The Bengals could do the same thing. Now, I understand that Trey wants a long-term deal, but you can't always get what you want. He's getting older. The longer he goes and doesn't play, there have been multiple teams that have been willing to offer him a multi-year deal from what the reports are, but maybe it's not to his liking. But there comes a time where teams get worn down. So I don't want to put this all on Brad. That's not what I'm doing. It takes multiple teams. It also, Trey doesn't have any say-so at all in this. He does not have a no-trade clause in his contract. So the worst case scenario, he gets traded to another team and doesn't play. I highly don't think that he would come to a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, that is a legit Super Bowl contender, and take a seat. It's getting bad over there. Trey Hendrickson is willing to sit an entire season. So if he does stick to his guns and either gets paid what he wants or sits out, that's going to make it increasingly difficult for the Bengals. The Bengals are going to lose capital every day, especially when the season gets going. If he misses half the season, then his capital is going to get lower and lower and lower because the team that does trade for him will only have him for the remaining season. part of the season, and then that's it. Then you gotta potentially let him walk and find free agency and all that stuff. But I'm like this: if the Lions are trying to win now and Trey helps us, I think Trey Hendrickson would help us get to a Super Bowl. You have Hutch. We don't know if how he's going to be immediately. And then you could have somebody opposite. It's not Marcus Davenport. It's not Hassan. It's not either of those guys. So let's not pretend that it is. But what's happening with Trey Hendrickson? Okay, this is coming from ESPN, and this was an article from a few days ago. What if they can't get a deal done? What are the other options? Hendrickson could be the one who relents and plays out the final year of his deal. That will make him a free agent next year. That's assuming the Bengals do not franchise tag him, which they have been known to do, and they could do that. However, earning a deal at the same amount in 2026 as he commands this offseason is the furthest thing from a guarantee considering Hendrickson's age. But here's the key. He could end up making this as bitter as possible, as Carlos Dunlap did in 2020, which left the Bengals no choice but to trade him in the middle of the season. If the rest of the league knows Cincinnati has to eradicate a toxic situation, that could also impact the type of trade compensation teams are willing to offer. And that is my point. The longer this draws out, the nastier it gets, the more likely, the more affordable Trey becomes. Because again, Trey's going to have to make a decision. What do you want to do? Do you want to win? Do you want to get paid? What do you want to do? Because not everybody's going to win in this situation. As far as the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson, whoever trades for Trey is probably going to win, but nobody's going to, like the Bengals or Trey. One of them, if the Bengals don't keep Trey, their Super Bowl aspirations are going to decrease. He had 48% of the sacks on the Cincinnati Bengals in 2024. 48%. The Bengals are just like the Lions when it comes to the D-line. We had one man doing all the dirty work. Now, there's no doubt that Aiden Hutchinson would have been the sack leader, and he also would have been probably Defensive Player of the Year and accountable. Even hurt, October 13th, he still accounted for 7.5 sacks. The next closest person was Darius Smith at 4. So again, I know that it's unlikely. I know that it's a pipe dream. I know all of that. However, stranger things have happened. It's not over until it's over. I didn't hear no bell. I didn't see no towel thrown. Until I hear a bell or see that towel, then I'm still going to push this thing, because this Trey would change everything. And we've seen stuff start off one way where there's no chance that's going to happen. And then next thing you know, this person is traded. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We have no idea what teams are talking about. And if Brad is the general manager we think he is, there's no way he's not calling about Trey Hendrickson. There's no way. And we know that general managers are all about theatricality and deception. So from Bryce Huff to Trey Hendrickson, it can happen. It can happen, because at the point, if Trey's willing to dig in and say, you know what, for no reason I'm playing for this team unless I get this type of money, then they're going to be forced to trade him, and he cannot dictate where that is. You think the Bengals are going to let him do that? They might, but things are getting nasty over there. But I gotta commend Trey for standing up for himself, sticking to his guns. Unlike Myles Garrett, unlike Max Crosby, he seems like he's standing on business, and I can respect a man that stands on business, because not a lot of men out here stand on business, bro. It's a lot of pansies and patsies and slappies, and a lot of y'all scared to stand on business, bro. But Trey is standing on business, and I appreciate that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know it's probably not going to happen, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about it, because it needs to be talked about. These teams, this is going to end. We've seen Max. And I understand that we got to pay people, but if the Bengals really don't have to eat anything. They really don't, because Trey is super affordable. But again, Trey has zero say-so. The only thing he can do is sit out. And it would be hard for me to believe he's going to sit out. He's going to increase in age. Think about this, and this is about to be a bar right here. I want to see somebody dispute this. Let's say that Trey gets traded. He's 31 years old. He gets traded, and it's to the Detroit Lions. He's like, you know what? I don't have a contract. I'm going to sit, and I'm not going to play. Okay, you think you're going to increase your money by getting older and sitting out? and then you're going to want to get paid next year, it ain't going to happen. Your best case scenario is to ball out of control again, unfortunately, get your money, and after this. See, that's the beauty part about this is Trey wants one thing. That doesn't mean he's going to get it. And I would be hard-pressed to believe that he would get traded to a Super Bowl contending team and not play because he wanted a contract. What he wants is to stay in Cincinnati. He wants to be respected, but that ain't gonna happen in Cincinnati. So let me know your thoughts, man. And give me your input. I know Brad is not this type of general manager. Sometimes I wish he was, because I think he could pull this off. I really, really do. Brad does what he wants to do. We know that. He trades up. He trades for what he wants. He's that's what he is. And Trey fits this team. He really does. Grit. He was at the Saints when Dan Campbell didn't draft him, but Dan Campbell was there when Trey was drafted. It's a perfect match, man. It really is. And we don't have to commit to Trey either. We could go all in this season. And if the longer this draws out, the cheaper Trey will be in compensation and in salary. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just want to let you guys know that we are launching merchandise on July 1st. Got some logo prototypes. Let me know your thoughts. Lions Syndicate. We also have another one here. This one is the upgraded version or updated version of the one that I currently have on. We have, you know what I love about designing these shirts is that a lot of you all like different ones. Like I've gotten comments on every last one, and then the Aiden Hutchinson inspired gritty. So again, this is the one that I have on is the initial shirt. And then I wind up finding, in my opinion, a better font and one that is a little bit better for me, which is this one here. I like that. Spreads out. So you'll know it's also have my logo on it as well. So anyway, that is that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about not only Trey Hendrickson, but the shirt designs. And thank you to all my members, especially my high tier director members. I will be making sure that all of you guys' name is on the list. And guess what, members? We're going to have our first member giveaway. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Anyway, this channel was made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Also, I almost forgot, the Michigan Panthers season finale is tomorrow, May 31st at Ford Field at 3 o'clock. There will be tailgating at 11. I will let you know more information when I can. Come down, support the Panthers. They've already opened 2,000 more seats. So we're looking for an attendance of 14,000. The first 2,000 people will get Jake Bates bobbleheads, and I got to get me one. So hopefully I'll see you at Ford Field tomorrow. And yeah, go Lions. And go Panthers, man. Let's bring something back to the city.